Right, when dealing with simple interest, you make one calculation to work out how much interest is being paid, and regardless of how many years that money is in the bank, the same amount of interest is earned each year it's there. So with these first two simple interest questions, calculate the amount that 2,500 will become if it is invested for 4 years at 6% per annum simple interest. So the interest earned in 1 year will be 6% of that amount. So 6%, turn it into a decimal, it will be the same as 6 pence written in pounds, which would be 0.06 times 2,500. So 0.06 times 2,500 is £150 per year. So in 4 years, the interest will be 4 lots of £150, which is £600. Now you need to read the questions carefully. This question wants to know how much that will become after 4 years. So it's going to be what's left, what's in the bank at the end. So it will be 2,500 plus the £600 interest earned. So after 4 years you get 2,500 plus 600, which is £3,100. That's what's in the bank. The second question, again it's simple interest, so this is the same method. This time is earning 8%, so the interest per year will be 8%, 0.08 times 850. £68 per year. So at the end of 3 years, the interest will be 3 lots of 68, which is £204. So after 3 years, the total amount of money at the bank is amount of money will be the £850 he put in his account plus the £204 that the interest has earned. So he will have £1,054. Both of those questions wanted the total amount of money in the account. Sometimes the question will ask for the interest earned, in which case 204 would have been the answer there and £600 would have been the answer there. So it's important that you read the questions carefully. Now compound interest is paid in a different way, and it's really important that you're reading the question and recognizing when this method that we've just looked at is applied or when the compound interest is applied. I think a big clue will be where these questions appear on an exam paper. If they're in the first half of the paper, it's likely to be simple interest. If it's in the second half of the paper, it's more likely to be a compound interest question. So let's look at how this is different. If £800 is invested for 3 years, the interest earned in the first year is the same as we did previously. So interest earned, so if we call this year 1, in the first year the interest earned is going to be 0.06 times 800, £48. Now at the end of the first year that is added on to the money in the account. So at end of year 1, in the account you've got £800 plus 48 is £848. Now for the second year, the interest is now calculated based on that amount and not the original amount, and that's what makes compound interest different. So now we're going to say year 2, interest earned is going to be 0.06 times, and instead of 800, 848. £50.88, which is then added on. So at the end of year 2, we're going to have £848, which was in the bank, plus £50.88, which is £898.88. We're working out for 3 years, so we've got one more calculation to do. Is now 6% of 898.88, which is that. We round it off to the nearest penny, which is going to be £53.93. The next digit is less than 5, so it stays as £53.93, and then we add that on to what's in the bank account. So at end of year 3, we're going to have £898.88 plus £53.93. So 898.88 plus 53.93 is £952.81. So that's the method for compound interest, and you can see why that's going to be on the back end of the paper in comparison with the simple interest, which is quite a straightforward calculation. Okay, so let's get into the swing of these now. So this question, we've got a compound interest. Okay, so it's compound interest, 4% payable every 6 months. Jenny invests £100. How much does she have at the end of 1 year? So our cycle, because it's paid 6 months, we need 2 stages of compound interest. So first of all, end of first 6 months, the interest will be 4%, 0.04 times £100. So that's going to be £4. So at the end of 6 months, what's in her bank account she'll have 100 plus 4 is £104. Then at the end of the second 6 months, the interest will be 4%, 0.04 times 104, which is £4.16. So at the end of 1 year, she has got £104 plus £4.16, which is going to be £108.16. Okay, so again, we're breaking it up into 2 stages with this compound interest. And we got one more question on compound interest. Again, the compound bit is in bold, so it's quite clear that we've got this series of calculations to do. Starting off with £1,500, and it's being paid per annum, which means every year rather than every 6 months. So year 1, the interest 8%, 0.08 times 1500. £120. So at the end of year 1, she's going to have £1,500 plus 120, £1,620. We're into year 2, 8% interest, but this time it's calculated on the 1,620. So 1620 times 0.08, £129.60 she earns. So at the end of year 2, she's got 1620 plus £129.60. £1,749.60. We gotta go for 3 years. Year 3. 0.08 times £1,749.60 is going to be, and now we need to round this off to 2 decimal places, and you can see this time there's 96, but because that 8 is 5 or more, that's going to become £139.97. So at the end of year 3, the amount in her account, which is what we want, is going to be 1,749.60 plus 139.97. 1,749.60 plus £139.97, which equals £1,889.57. So that's compound interest. Again, fairly quickly you get into a routine of how you work with these. Now, another thing that they can do with compound interest is, rather than things increasing by that fixed amount as they were with bank accounts, they can decrease by this amount as well, and that is usually where things lose value over time. Like if you buy a brand new car, it loses so much money every year that you own it, and so on. So we've got a few questions on this to look at. The method is exactly the same as compound interest, except we're subtracting our percentage rather than adding it on. So a business declares that its office equipment depreciates, so that means it's going down, at a rate of 15% of its value at the beginning of each year. Find to the nearest £100 the value of its office equipment at the end of 3 years of depreciation if its value at the beginning of the period was 20,000. Okay, so year 1, it's going to lose 15% of 20,000. So it loses, it's not how you spell loses, so it's going to lose 15%, which is 0.15 times 20,000. So 0.15 times 20,000, £3,000 lost in the first year. So after 1 year, it's worth the 20,000 that you started with less the depreciation of 3,000, so it's going to be worth £17,000. Year 2, it loses 15% of that amount, 0.15 times 17,000. 0.15 times 17,000 equals £2,550. So after 1 year, after 2 years, sorry, it's now worth 17,000 less 2,550, £14,450. Okay, year 3. It's going to lose another 15%. So 15% now of the 14,515 is £2,167.50. So after 3 years, it's worth 14,450 less £2,167.50 equals £12,282.50. That answer isn't going to get you full marks, because in this question they want the final answer to the nearest £100. So to get that last mark, you want to round that off to the nearest 100. Well, it's either going to be 12,200 or 12,300, and £282 is nearer to the 300, so that's going to be £12,300. So hopefully you can see there the method is exactly the same as for compound interest, the only difference being you're subtracting the values that you're working out rather than adding. So 2 more questions on depreciation. 3 years ago, a car was bought for £8,000. Each year the car's value depreciates, goes down by 12% of its value at the start of the year. Same thing. Okay, so year 1, starting at 8,000, losing 12%, 0.12 times 8,000. £960 less, so it's worth 8,000 less 960, £7,040 is what it's worth at the end of the first year. Year 2 loses 12%, 0.12 of the new amount at the start of the year, 7040. So it's going to lose another £844.80. So at the end of that year, it's going to be worth 7040 less 844.80. £6,195.20. Final year, year 3, it's going to lose 12%, 0.12 of this amount, 6,195.20 times 0.12, rounded off to the nearest penny, £743.42. So it'll finally be worth 6,195.20 less £743.42. 6,195.20 less £743.42. £5,451.78. And this time it's not asking us to round it to the nearest 100 or 1000, so we can leave that as our answer. And the final question, we're back to furniture. Depreciating is going down 15% of its value. Again, we're working for 3 years, and we're starting this time at £3,000. So year 1 loses 15%, 0.15 of 3,000. £450. So it's worth, at the end of the year, 3,000 less that 450, £2,550. Year 2, repeat again, loses 0.15 times, this time £2,550. £382.50. What's it worth? It's worth 2,550 less 382.50. £2,167.50. Finally, year 3 loses 15% of 2,167.50. .15 times 2,167.50. Round it off, 325. Okay, the digit after the 2 is 5. 5 or more rounds up, so it's going to be £13. So what's it finally worth? It'll finally be worth 2,167.50 less £325.13. 2,167.50 less £325.13. £1,842.37. So that's simple interest and compound interest and compound depreciation, which hopefully you'll find quite a straightforward thing. The method is fairly repetitive. Once you've learned to calculate a percentage and either add or subtract it, those marks should be fairly easy 3 marks for you to earn.